This trip I'm about to describe was unbelievably amazing. I rolled a DMT joint with lemon haze and some tobacco, which apparently acts as a mild MAO inhibitor, an enzyme inhibitor that slows the breakdown of DMT by the body. I started by toking the DMT spliff, and it was like smoking a normal spliff until the DMT layer ignited. The classic DMT taste rushed into my mouth and into my lungs, but it was so much easier to keep in this time. I had 2 very deep tokes that I can remember whilst on the DMT layer and kept having pulls throughout the trip when I needed them. The trip started when my fingers on both hands started to tingle. The tingling spread throughout my body, and then when it reached my head, I heard the tone. This is when I knew it was time to close my eyes, and I did. The tone slowly got louder and louder. At the same time, I was seeing what looked like some sort of ancient circular calendar, Mayan or Aztec-like, and I was moving closer and closer to the center of it. At this point, the tone got louder and then just stopped. I then found myself in front of what can only be the barrier or gateway. I was in front of the barrier and could see it in detail. It was a glowing wall of ultra-vivid rainbow-colored bricks and tiles that kept pulsing and changing color. I was amazed and in awe. This was the first time I have seen and experienced a barrier this detailed. I noticed that certain tiles stopped changing color whilst I was taking DMT hits, and eventually these tiles glowed brighter and brighter until they merged, turned into a white color, and covered my whole vision. I then got an instant feeling that a combination had just been solved and that I had broken the encryption. Then from the center of my vision, I started to see something emerge from the white. It looked like a wormhole was opening in front of me. As the veil was being lifted, a torrent of maroon and golden glyphs in an unreadable language rushed out of the wormhole and flew all around me and then through me. This felt so weird because the symbols would come in front of me so I could see them clearly, and just when I thought I recognized the symbol, it would change into a different one. It was as if they were playing with me and being mischievous. The glyphs then all of a sudden turned into what I can only describe as transforming organic machines, which did not keep the same shape for too long. These machines then went under me and lifted me up. I was floating in a wave of these machines, and they took me to another doorway, which then evaporated like a force field being deactivated. And then I was here. I was actually in a majestic golden city. At this point, words could not describe the amount of happiness I was feeling. The city had a celebratory mood, as if they were celebrating my entrance into their dimension. I was being carried through the city and shown things. The machines that were lifting me were also showing me different things, as if they were competing for my attention. One of the most awesome things these machines did was they transformed into some sort of neutron star that ejected pulsar beams from either pole. These apparent neutron stars then turned into pyramids that ejected beams of jungle green and ocean blue light from each corner. It was amazing. These machines turned into the most awesome and most detailed things. It was truly awesome. The machines then started to lift me higher and higher until I reached the highest spire in the city. I then found that I could actually move around and that the machines stopped carrying me and instead started to make a path wherever I walked. I walked to this spire and looked at it in detail. I could see into the spire and see what it was made from. I saw that the whole city was made from ultra-complex mechanical systems like cogs, pendulums, gears, and other unexplainable objects, with lines of syntax or some sort of code connecting each system like a massive network. After I found out what the city was made up of, the machines then communicated with me, asking, "What would you like to see now?" I couldn't believe this and had to take a moment and think. I communicated to them that I wanted to see who made all of this. At first, the machines didn't answer, and from the left of my vision, I saw a wall of red eye-like things moving into my view. This felt a little scary, so I had to open my eyes for a quick second. I then shut my eyes again. The eyes were still there to the left, and I got a communication from the machines telling me to ask the question again. So I did, and asked for a second time and a third for them to show me who made this. I don't know how, but asking the question again made the eyes retreat and leave my view. After asking the machines for a third time, Who made all of this? They take me higher and higher above the city into a different space-like environment. I see galaxies and nebulas in the background, and I slowly enter the body of a being that is making an amazingly complex thing. This being is making what looks like one of the machines in its very first form. The being is putting the same complex machinery and syntax that the city was made out of into this organic machine thing. This was intensely interesting, and I could watch through the eyes of this being for hours and hours. However, I get transported by the machines again and slowly get taken to another place. This time it's a mountainous area that is well above a thick blanket of sunset-colored clouds, and I am standing on top of a twin-peak mountain with the machines hovering around me. I notice that the number of machines has drastically gone down. Before there might have been thousands, but now there are no more than 50. However, these machines are bigger than the rest and look chunkier. Anyway, I'm standing on a twin-peak mountain, and out of the clouds, a giant eagle floats up and lands on the opposite peak to me. I remember at this point that the number of machines has gone down to around 10, and the remaining ones tell me to tell the creature where you want to go. I look at the eagle creature and can see that its features look unbelievably sharp. I automatically ask it to take me to the Anubis creatures I saw on my previous trip. As soon as I ask it, its facial expression turns to one of anger, and I start to see the wall of red eyes coming into my vision again. I start to feel the same feeling of fear again, but this time I know what to do to get rid of them. So I kept asking the eagle to take me to Anubis. It wasn't working. The red-eyed wall kept coming, slowly taking over my whole field of view. But again, even though I felt scared, I knew it could not hurt me. So I kept talking to the eagle. Just as they're about to invade my view, the eyes turn to a desaturated color of a stone gray and just fade away. I am now back on my peak, talking to the eagle creature. I ask it again to take me to Anubis. This time it looks into my eyes, and it's as if it looked into my soul. It then extends its wing over from the peak it's on to mine and tells me to get on. I get on its wing, and as I'm about to take another step, my movements become insanely slow, and I can feel myself being pulled back into normal reality. I open my eyes and feel that intense happiness and see my friends with the same look on their faces. I could not wait to tell them what I'd seen. Thank you for listening.